Hey guys, what's up? Daniel here. Today we're doing a color comparison of the iPhone XR colors. We have the silver, yellow, coral, blue, red, and black phones here. And where are they? Well, they're under the boxes here. But yeah, that was just so you guys can take a quick look at the boxes first. And you can see the wallpapers that come pre-installed on the device. And yeah, here we have the actual colors. I really thought I had centered them. And yeah, I thought it would be a greater reveal here, but either way, those are all the iPhone XR colors. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at all of them, do a comparison under different lighting conditions, and yeah, ultimately probably help you find the color that you like the most if you don't already know, which most people do know already pretty much by just looking at everything here. However, you know, some things might change depending on what you see here. For example, my personal favorite before seeing everything here was the blue, and that ended up not being my personal favorite and not even my second personal favorite. So my first one here is the silver. That is my number one, the one I would actually purchase. Second one in terms of color is the coral. Third, blue. Third, red. Fourth, blue. Then black. Then the yellow. And I'll go into why, but those are my favorites. And I have them here ordered from most or least smudge factor to most smudge factor as well. So the darker the color, the more smudges you're gonna see. These three right here are pretty much the same. White is gonna show the least amount of smudges. Either way, all of them are kind of not all that smudgy at the end. Kind of the same thing. They're all glass, they're all gonna smudge up. They're gonna get dirty to some degree. But yeah, a quick wipe with you know, just do one of these and it's completely clean and pretty much brand new whenever you do that. But yeah, let's take a closer look at these devices. All right, so here taking a closer look at the colors, you can slightly see them a little bit better. And pretty much how you see them here is how they're gonna look. The bright colors here are gonna definitely be bright in most cases. This red is a very deep red. It's not a bright red like we've gotten before. It looks really good. It looks kind of like a almost like a candy or a lollipop of some sorts, but it looks really good, and it can get a very nice bright red outside and stuff. And yeah, so we have the colors here. Of course, it all depends on what you're choosing between. It obviously always helps to narrow down, so I've made kind of separate videos narrowing down a couple of the colors against each other. That way you guys can maybe choose more easily. But I think it really comes down to some variation of this. Like, do I want a bright color, or do I want one of the darker or more subdued colors, or even just a kind of more original color that we've gotten in the past, or one of the spicy new colors that make me look all exciting. So yeah, it's really comes down to these three colors like that and these three like that. Of course, it might depend on, you know, maybe you are choosing between a coral and the red, etc., etc. However, I think if you should definitely be on one of these groups to make your life easier to choose. And of course, this is a first world problem. I know that this is a silly thing to be choosing about phones, and you can put a case on it and hide it away. And yeah, talking about cases, I'm going to show you this one real quick, and I'll kind of zoom over it so you guys can see it. But here we can see that with the case on, you can see that the color does change a slight bit, and that will make a difference, of course, if you're going to be putting a case on it. For example, the yellow, I don't like the sides around it. So if you put a case on it here, it does make the sides less shiny, and it gets rid of that sheen that I don't like. So it makes the yellow a very nice color that I actually like more than without the case. So that is something to take in mind. However, for example, the black one over here, if I put a case on this one, it actually makes it worse, because this particular case, which is see-through like this, gives it a really weird and ugly looking cloudy look. And then if we put it on the white one here, you can see how clean and nice it looks with this one. So of course, depending on the case you're gonna get, that could also be a factor into deciding what phone you're gonna get, just because it does change the look of it. It either makes it look better or makes it look worse. Unfortunately, Apple didn't release cases for the XR. I'm not sure why. It's a very odd thing to do, to just kind of ignore the phones like that. I don't know what excuse they could possibly have for it. Here we have all the colors. We're gonna go ahead and put them under different lighting conditions so that you guys can see how they look in yellow lighting outside and darker lighting, etc., while I talk about some of the specs of the iPhone XR. Alright, so the iPhone XR does have pretty much the same internals as the iPhone XS, so you aren't really missing out on anything in terms of speed. So things will load fast, or games will be fast. It's not a budget phone, it's not worse than the iPhone XS. It's just has some missing features. So you're not gonna get 3D touch, which I know a lot of people don't use. I particularly actually do use it. So when I was using the XR, I did notice that it was missing, and it's kind of a weird, different way to use 3D touch. So the same functionality is still there. However, it's not the same way that you're used to with 3D touch. So that's gone. You're also not going to get a OLED panel or even a high resolution display. This thing is under 1080p. So things aren't going to look super crisp nor super black. There's not going to be enough contrast. There's going to be no HDR whatsoever, which we do get with the iPhone XS. So it's definitely more of a dull screen, and something that you would actually see on a budget phone, which this is not. This is a full flagship phone. It's $800. So it is kind of odd of Apple to include that in. Of course, they got to make money, and the more money you make, the better. However, the display isn't bad. It's just as good, if not better, than previous year's iPhones, not including the iPhone X, of course. If you've been used to using only iPhone 8, iPhone 7, or iPhone 6, then you're not going to even notice a difference in this display because it's pretty much the exact same thing. And it looks beautiful. It's a beautiful looking display. It's just an LCD. It looks good. The other thing is that you are going to get larger bezels with this phone. So that's due to the fact that this has the LCD and you can't bend it at the corners. So they have to basically make a bigger bezel so that it looks rounded. And yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. It's going to have larger bezels. It's also the exact same size as Plus models from previous years. So when you use the device, it's going to be just like holding a Plus model. It's just that it has a full screen. And the only good thing here is, of course, you get a lot of screen real estate, so a lot of things are going to look really nice. The bad thing here is, of course, that it's going to make it harder for people with smaller hands to reach from one edge of the phone to the other edge of the phone. So if you don't have large hands, this is going to get a little bit cumbersome to use, or slightly more cumbersome than using something like an iPhone 8 or 7 or 6S. So you might have to go to two hands or upgrade to a XS. But the XS, like $300 more for that when it's almost the exact same thing for most people. There's compromises to be made, of course. You do have the aluminum border on the XR, which I actually love and prefer to the XS's stainless steel border. I don't like the glossiness and sticky feeling of the XS's border. This stainless steel border just feels great, feels really nice and premium, and just looks a lot better in my opinion than the XS's stainless steel border, especially on this silver color that I have right here. But I think overall you are getting a really great phone. It's a great upgrade, and unfortunately Apple just skimped out on some features on purpose to just sell more iPhone XS units and XS Max units. But yeah guys, I mean, as far as the colors go, they're all really nice. Honestly, this here, I don't think there's any ugly colors. Like, there's no color here that I dislike as much as I dislike the gold colors that Apple has been taking out recently. So I mean, all these colors are great. If you like to just go simple, definitely go with either white or black. And if you really just want to stay down low and not bring any attention, black. The silver is really for people that just like clean stuff, minimal design and stuff like that. And if you just want to spice it up with some colors, then of course these three right here. And kind of the red falls right in between both of them because you are kind of spicing it up, but it's also very dull and not super eye-catching color, even though, I mean, it technically is, but not as eye-catching as these. I mean, if you're using your phone without a case with this, like, you can see it from a mile away. So that's something to keep in mind. All the colors are really nice. Let me know what color is your favorite down below in the comments. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at RMRDNL, and I'll get back to you there. You can also reach out to me on Instagram at RMRDNL, or just comment down below and I'll get back to you there as well. For more videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. and stay tuned for future videos. But yeah guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.